really live.
Really
I always hate the delay. I'm like looking and I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey everyone, welcome to back by popular demand, the Fireside Chat, or what I like to call the monthly ramblings of Nathan Stewart. When I say popular demand, I really mean like 2 people said, hey, you should do this regularly. So that was enough for me. I like to talk. I like hanging out with D&D fans. So here it is. Remember, I'm not great at this Twitch stuff, so if I'm doing anything wrong, put it in the chat. Tell me to slow down. Tell me to talk louder. Tell me to not wave my hands so much. Any of that is appreciated. The goal on this is just to talk about D&D stuff. I'm not Mike Merrills. I'm not Chris Perkins. I'm not Chris Lindsay. I'm not Jeremy Crawford. So I don't have like best advice on DM tips or sage advice or rulings on stuff. I'm really more the guy who's on the business side. Kind of where we're taking D&D, what plans we have. What we're doing out there with fans like you guys, or with Twitch, or with partners and stuff. So those guys all have their Twitter. They've got their columns. I know that Bart and Greg Tito have been bringing everyone on the regular Twitch podcast a lot. So save your good questions for them, because they're super smart and they're really creative and they have all those answers. And ask me any of the questions or topics that you want to bring up that is more, I want to say boring, but not boring, but just, kind of outside of the gameplay of this stuff. Don't ask me when we're releasing new worlds and products, because I'm definitely not going to tell you, although I do spoil stuff all the time. So if you ask, I might accidentally tell you. So I don't know. I just gave you conflicting info there. I said ask and don't ask. Snap Havoc said, dig the straight and to the point nature, Nathan. Yeah, no, that's kind of me. I'm definitely straightforward. I'm not always as couth as I should be, but I try to have some semblance of order. I like to give away free stuff, so that works out well for you guys, because we make a lot of cool stuff here. We make a lot of swag that we take to conventions, or we make a lot of swag to give out to all the hardworking people at Wizards during Wizards Week and stuff. And you guys see it. You see us wearing the shirts, or you see us with the mugs or the stickers, and everyone's always like, "Where can I get those?" And I got to be honest, I am trying my hardest to get an actual D&D like fan gear site up that will help you guys get that at a really reasonable cost as soon as possible. We're always trying to license more products to partners and guide them creatively to make cool stuff so you can get your hands on it. But in the meantime, until we get great ways for you to do it, then we're gonna just keep loading Mike Merrills and Jeremy Crawford up with swag when he goes to Gen Con, or me or Trevor when we go to PAX later this weekend. Or on these Twitches, I'm gonna tell Pelham, hey Pelham, sorry, Tuesday's going to suck because you're going to be down in shipping sending a bunch of boxes out. So with that being said, we think we have new, better ways to give away swag. Pelham has told me that if I hold up 6 fingers, he will... No, I'm teasing. I don't know what he told me. No, but he's... So when we're going to give away stuff this time, apparently he's going to open up a chat in Twitter. Am I saying it right?
Twitch.
In Twitch. Okay, he's going to open up a chat in the Twitch channel, and it's going to be a raffle chat, and then fans will put in, I think, !raffle to be entered into it. He's going to put directions up on the. He's going to put instructions up on the screen. For how to do it, but we've got a way so that if you're in the chat, even if you're getting lag on the video, you've still got a chance. I know a lot of people thought that the last time the giveaways were cool, but kind of also felt like they didn't have a chance in answering trivia questions, and that wasn't a great way. So we fixed it. I think a lot of people recommended different bots for us to use, so I'm pretty sure Pelham figured out which bots we have that were the best ones to do. And now we're going to be rocking a lot better for that. So first of all, So first of all, the shout out to Adventurers League at Pacificon in Santa Clara this weekend. That's awesome. Good to note. So that came from Cloud RDS. I want to do another shout out. We've got Lee, one of our good dungeon masters and loyal fans down at DragonCon. I know running some stuff this weekend. It's always a shame for people like me and you guys who have to pick between all these different cool conventions all running Labor Day weekend, kind of the nature of Labor Day weekend. But yeah, we've got a lot of people out there playing D&D this weekend, so thank you everyone running it so that all the people playing it can have an awesome time. That's really cool. We've also got Acquisitions Inc. Live 6:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is going to be live from here from Seattle. So Chris Perkins is leading the Ac Inc. crew, except for we got a crossover because Holly Conrad's coming in from the Waffle crew. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna be there, and if you guys can be there, I know you will. But if you can't, you know, check it out on the Twitch channels. I'm sure it'll be on ours. I'm sure it'll be on Penny Arcades. You know, we've got awesome cast, so that's going to be awesome. Other stuff. So, like I said, I want to just kind of jump in and talk about whatever and answer questions. So I'm going to be looking down at my tab a little bit here, just looking at the chat to answer questions. One question that comes up, and forgive me if I butcher your guys' name, Ye Ancient One. Where does the pre-show music come from? Very suited to a role-playing session, methinks. Yeah, we think so too. It's pretty cool. We've got a stash of music that we have created for different videos or video games over the years that we're compiling. We're actually trying to build up more kind of stock music like that we can use in our Waffle Crew games or in our our Twitch gaming and live gaming that we do. But yeah, that's some pretty cool D&D original music that we've got that I know Greg Tito likes and leans into, so it's pretty cool. What else? Free stuff. We're definitely giving away free stuff. We Love Fine. The Faerun map scarf was cool. We Love Fine definitely does awesome stuff, but their mission is pretty clear. They're very fan driven. They want to do a lot of fan designs and stuff like that. So they're okay taking some of our kind of more corporate logo-y stuff and putting it up there every now and then. But lots of the times the stuff that we make in here that you guys all see and think is cool is like a simple, ampersand mug on there. And actually, that's a bad example because I think We Love Fine might be putting those up soon. So if I got ahead of anyone and spoiled that one, sorry, but I think they are. But yeah, they like to do a lot more fan stuff. So they're great partners and we love them. They got good quality stuff, but they try not to have it be all Wizards creative and look too much, too corporate. So we use them sparingly, but I want another solution. I really want stuff that's just like very logo driven and tchotchke stuff, and it's stuff that it seems silly because you're like, well, that's dumb. But I think the ampersand's cool and people like it, and if you're a fan and you want to get it, I also want to be able to charge like the lowest price possible for it. I don't want it to be a profit thing. If you're wearing our logo and kind of advertising for the brand, like, that's awesome. I'd like to give it to you if I could, but if there's a meaningful way to, have it up there for, cost plus whatever it takes to run the site and shipping and stuff, like, I'd like to keep, some kind of fan level low enough like that so that you guys are just kind of paying the cost if you're going to be cool enough to advertise my brand for me. What else? Other questions on there? So a lot of you guys took the survey. So actually, a lot of people took the survey pretty quick. We appreciate that. I know you guys are all kind of always metagaming and probably probably looking at me and like, what does this mean? I promise you that you're all right, but you're all wrong as well. We tried to be really vague and broad and answer questions that we're wondering things about over the next few years, and this isn't the only place we're getting the information. So you're reading about new worlds. Obviously, we're looking at the timing of when and what worlds to roll out. That's that's not a secret. Movie stuff, TV shows, all that stuff. We're We're definitely looking into all that. We just always want to listen to you guys and see what you're saying. We don't want to just think we know best and not validate it. So thank you guys for taking the survey, but there's no no kind of direct spoilers to come out of that yet. Hey, Ye Ancient One, just subscribed to Twitch Prime. You're awesome. Thank you. I noticed no Fathom screening of the Ankh game this year. I thought that was a cool idea, not being worth the cost. Any insights? I ran that one point and kind of championed that one last year because I really wanted to try it. And Brian was my guy over at Fathom, and he loves D&D, and we were championing that. We thought it was cool, and we wanted to try it. It wasn't a success, but it wasn't a failure. So I think we have to figure out what the right kind of way to do that is. And what I mean by that is in some theaters, in some markets, like you were packed. Like it was 200-300 people in there, a bunch of gamers watching it, having fun together, and loved it. And then in some theaters and markets, there were like 10 people in the theater. So it was a really mixed bag, and to be quite honest, I didn't need it to make money. I just kind of wanted it to pay for itself, and it was a little bit of an expense that we paid on there because we were trying new stuff and trying to get it right. So we're going to work with Fathom again and try and find the right mix. But if you guys have like ideas on how or why or what a Fathom type situation would work best for, let us know, because we tried it, it worked, but it didn't blow the doors off, so we're not doing it again this year. But we want to find a new thing to try with Fathom that would be cool for the fans, that would have all the theaters doing it half full or more, and really get the energy in there so that people feel the excitement of kind of watching it together. Like you're watching a season premiere or a season ending or a sneak peek of some new movie or whatnot. Like you want that energy and excitement because you're all doing it together. So I think we need to figure out how that's best recreated. So that's kind of the thoughts on Fathom. All right, so we have, who do we have? We have High Rollers coming in at noon on Twitch, or on Twitch. So I'm definitely going to have a hard stop at noon, so we should get to giving away some stuff. So, how do I do this? Okay, well, first of all, how about this? Does anybody have this? If you guys don't have this, it's awesome. This is a fantastic game. Obviously, it's kind of more themed with the Giants theme that we're just coming out of. But this is a WizKids board game. A lot of people internally worked on it. Andrew Parks worked on it. I think Chris Dupuis and a handful of the other ones. I know Mike Reynolds did some stuff. WizKids did some stuff. They've got cool designers over there. So Pelham's got a few of these. So how many of these do we think we got? We got yeah, I think we got 3 of these bad boys. So in the raffle thing, whatever bot that's going on in the channel now, we will give away 3 copies of Assault of the Giants. So if there's rules on screen, follow them and put your name in there and enter if you want, and we'll get 3 lucky winners for this. And Pelham will get these, work with the folks probably after Labor Day. So it'll be early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing, that we'll get these shipped out to folks. But awesome game. I was really proud that the teams at WizKids and my team here at Wizards was able to work together and collaborate on this, because it actually went pretty quick and pretty smooth. So definitely check it out. And it's heavy as hell. Okay. Wait, we should do one more. Can we do more giveaways than that one? Do you have to set it up where it's just...
We can give one thing away at a time.
Okay.
So I'll do 3 raffles here, so we can give away 3 copies of the board game.
Okay. Perfect. So, yep, okay, good. You guys are all getting that. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet here for just a second while I look and make sure I didn't miss any other good questions, because, oh, wow, the chat is filling up with the raffle.
So we have our first winner.
Nice. Wait, it tells people who won?
Yep.
Oh, did I? Nice. Okay, awesome. Well, that'll keep you guys a little busy there. So I'll talk about some other stuff going on. What is going on? Well, obviously, I mean, I think the big news, and I think I even saw someone mention it here in the chat before we started, is obviously Tomb of Annihilation comes out next week, like literally 1 week from now. So we just got our copies in. Yes, I know, I'm not trying to make everyone jealous. It's one of the perks of, you know, working on D&D is you get it just a little early. So I'm literally going to spend half the weekend flipping through and reading. I've play tested it a lot, so I know how fun it is, and I really love the adventure. And if you haven't played the original Tomb of Horrors, you can. It's in the Tales from the Yawning Portal. Obviously, one of the kind of most well-known, most beloved modules of all time. If you haven't played it, it doesn't matter. Tomb of Annihilation is still just amazing and great. But if you have played it and you get to the kind of end part of Tomb of Annihilation, I think Chris Perkins and Jeremy and those guys did some like crazy mind games and stuff, because you're like coming up to stuff and you're like having flashbacks like, wait a minute, when I played in the original one, I think this was like this now, and it was a trap, and this was the trap. And then you start you're like, no, they wouldn't use the same trap, or would they? Because I wouldn't expect that they would use this. Like, so I just found myself like totally getting like caught up and kind of. I even think the DM's like, okay, you gotta make a choice here, or you know, I'm gonna act. I'm like, oh, like so. So I think that's fun. I think it's cool that it's so kind of emotionally driven and fun, and has that kind of, you know, call back to the original Tomb of Horrors if you played it. But if you haven't, it's still cool. Did we get our other winners?
Yep, we've got our 3 winners now.
All right. I will, as soon as I will let the raffle stuff clear out a little bit there, so we can get any other questions. But I'll bring up a couple other topics. I saw one of the questions about, and I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot who wrote this, but about streaming stuff, in terms of new scheduling and after the campaigns and everything. So as we're getting now into September, and we're getting into kind of from the preview mode into the products being out and everyone play, our intent is that, you know, you guys want to watch people streaming, but you probably more want to play D&D when you can and play it. So we're definitely still running most of our new streams weekly through September, October, November, for sure in there. We're also adding in the podcast, the Tomb of Annihilation podcast stuff is going to start going on in September too. So that'll be just the straight audio stuff. But that's a lot of the groups that are out there who don't do the video podcast. They just do the audio podcast. So that'll be going on too. So we're going to roll that out. And then we are trying to get all of our kind of January, February, March, April Twitch programming locked in right now too. So our intent is basically at least 5 days a week have original cool D&D gaming going on through stuff that we're doing directly or through our partners that we're talking to and working with and hosting their stuff on there. So every day you come to the Twitch channel, right now every weekday that you come to the Twitch channel, there should be cool new stuff going on most of the time. When we get in the breaks, and there's kind of a couple week breaks in Dice Camera Action right now and some other stuff, you know, we'll do the video cast or the vodcast. But then our plan is to come back on with Waffle Crew soon. I know that Rudy and Satine have cool plans for kind of the next phase of storytelling, get a twist on some of the stuff that they're doing. The Girls Guts Glory crew is actually, we're planning on bringing them back for actual live streaming next segment or season, whatever you want to call it. We don't have that locked down yet, but I think we're shooting for Sundays with them. It'll be like 2 to 3 hour live games, which will be pretty cool. They've got a new DM coming in, and I've played with her, and she is straight up awesome. She's a writer down in LA, and she does musicals and cartoons and writing. She's even done some work for Hasbro Studios, writing for stuff for some of our kids' things. But she's awesome. You guys are gonna love her DMing for the group, and it'll be fun to see those live as opposed to the pre-canned ones, which I know everyone's biggest complaint would probably be that they're short. I'm not sure 100% what's going on with Mark and High Rollers for the next season, but we love those guys, and we're going to work it out whatever we can to make sure that the time works to get them in. The Dragon Friends are playing later tonight on the Twitch channel, and they're awesome, so I think we've got them back. And then we're also looking for new folks. We had some great ideas last time we did the Fireside Chat about doing some stuff from the Dungeon Masters Guild and showcasing different adventures and DMs from there. We're looking into seeing what we can do with the Adventurers League and some of our DMs there. So September through November will kind of be the schedule that we started with the first season, with just some augmentation here and there based on people's schedules. And then when we come back in the new year, I think we're going to try and bring in 2, 3, 4, kind of fresh new things, new takes on stuff, and get some more gaming in there as we learn how to make it better, as we as we build up the kind of the viewership and stuff. We're definitely getting a lot more people interested in working with us to Twitch and stream on new stories, and then try some evergreen stories and some different content too. And we'll do some one-offs. We're going to do something fun with the D&D team that's probably a little bit more crowdsourced. We've got our champions of Idle Champions of Faerun coming out soon. I think we're going to try and do some fun stuff on Twitch with them that's entertaining. So right now, just like the Fathom thing, we're just trying to experiment and see what works best, what's sustainable, what people like, what we can manage with the people and resources that we have. So so if you hang out there with us, you're going to see some cool content. If you let us know what stuff you like or what stuff could be cooler or better, then we're going to listen. We might not listen right away. It might take a little time to implement, but we're going to do our best, and we definitely have cool content lined up. Miss Beezus, that was who asked it. Yes, thank you, Miss Beezus. So that's a different one, or that's the answer to that one. Question: how did WotC come around to picking the different groups to portray the Tomb of Annihilation streams? That is honestly just like who we were talking to at the time, who we knew was passionate, who was able to put on high quality streams, who was able to kind of meet our timeline needs and commitments, because we wanted to put on meaningful ones. So we had a lot of our partners. We talk closely to our fans as often as we can. We work with people in the Adventurers League, or we work with people who are in the kind of critical role, Geek and Sundry Universe, who are streaming as well. So just whenever we get a chance to talk to folks who are doing creative storytelling, we kind of keep our ears open and listen. The Girl Scouts Glory, I had read an article about them in an LA magazine, and checked out a video that they'd put up on their website, and I thought that the quality of it was awesome, and they were novice, kind of new gamers, and we didn't really have anybody kind of portraying the new player, so that was cool. We got Dragon Friends from Will down in our Hasbro Australia office. Told us about them a couple of years ago, and we wanted to say, hey, can we start getting some shows and people from other areas, to kind of make this more relevant for D&D gamers around the world. So we were like, oh, well, we've got Dragon Friends in Australia. Mark Holmes and Greg Tito, I think, have been talking for a long time. Mark Holmes and Matt Mercer have been friends for forever. So so those guys were always popping up. Anna Prosser's been great at kind of teaching us stuff and telling us more things in there. So obviously, she is a big part of the Misclicks. So that was an easy one to get in there. Dice Camera Action with Holly, Jared, Nate, and Anna. I mean, that's one that we do a lot here. We're looking to do a lot more stuff with them next year. I think one of the questions I'd have for the folks today is what conventions or shows, that probably new or different ones, if we were going to take Waffle Crew and do some live D&D play, like the Acquisitions Inc. game is being played here at PAX, if we were going to take Waffle Crew to a couple shows or conventions next year, throw out some ideas. Throw out ones that you think would be like a cool fit, like that it would, add to the excitement of the show, that it'd be, good. Selfishly, obviously, you want to pick ones that are close to you, but, but think about the, the type of environment that's at the show that would be good for that kind of thing, right? Like PAX is great because it's got the main stage. We can fit 3,000 people in Benaroya Hall to watch it. That's not needed everywhere, but obviously if we're going to fly everyone out there and have them do a 2 or 3 hour game. We want to be able to stream it to everyone, but we want the live crowd to have a good experience. So that's one of the goals we want to do for next year. And in our Twitch, we want to do a little bit more live convention streaming. That's that's our stuff that's from a convention, but live streamed on Twitch. So that's kind of an answer to lots of questions. All right. What else? Dragon Plus show is great. Lori Snow, awesome. Good. I'm glad you guys are liking those. Dragon Plus, also awesome. If you guys haven't downloaded, the new issue of Dragon Plus is out now. Awesome art in it. The cover art is obviously from Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, but it just pops on my phone. It looks awesome. Even the Green Devil mask in there, for whatever reason, I really think that those guys are doing a great job in the whole look and feel of it. There's lots of new content, new info in there too. I think there's kind of a spoiler in there. I think that our BCom's doing kind of an adaptation of our adventure system board games in a mobile game. That's talked about in there. I'm also looking at my phone right now, and my brother just texted me and said that Divinity Original Sin 2 is awesome. But I already knew that, Mike, so thank you for telling me. But okay, cool. Yeah, so that stuff, I think the Dragon Plus and those shows and everything you're talking about is great. So we want to do more stuff like that. Fan Expo Toronto, that's a good call. Come to London. If we came to London, what would that be? Would that be Game Expo or something else? So definitely let us know. I mean, we want to try and do more stuff like that and figure it out. Gamehole Con, Gamehole Con, Miss Beezus, actually, that's one of those ones where you're like, yeah, that would be cool, but man, is that the right venue to have the right setup and stuff? And Alex and everyone over Gamehole Con, they're awesome, and so I mean, we could probably work it out with them and make it happen. But part of it too, right, is you want to make sure that if you're going to the trouble and bringing all this stuff and kind of making it that it's really you're not taken away from what the core of that event is. And I think Gamehole Con is one of those ones where like everyone is like seriously playing the whole time. So maybe they don't want to go watch a live game because they're like, that's taken away from my gameplay time. So those are the things that we want to weigh in. Should we do the new giveaway system? Does flood the chat a little bit, and you have to do them one at a time. So we got a lot of stuff that's gonna be hard. So let's do a couple more giveaways, and I'll just say I'm not giving away this brick of mini blind packs, but we do have Pelham will send like some kits. We'll give you like 2 or 3 packs of minis. He's got several of them over there, so it's not even all going to be Monster Menagerie 2, but we'll give winners. Let's do 5 winners. We'll get a box with a selection of WizKids minis in there. So we'll do 5 more raffles to get some minis. I picked up the Monsters Menagerie 2 just because there's some really fun guys in here, some kind of classic stuff that's not specific to any storyline. Obviously the minis come out, Icons of the Realms, and they're really tied to the stories. But in between those, they've been putting out these ones that are kind of filling out your minis collection just for your homebrew or if you're doing variants. And they've also been doing unpainted minis, which has been cool for them. So yeah, so we're doing another raffle for the minis, and then we'll let this kind of filter through. And I'll try and answer some of the other questions while you guys are popping that in. And the only flaw in this is that this goes so fast. So someone asked, "Hey, aren't you guys doing a live game this year at Gamehole Con?" And I never know what stuff is public or not. Like I said, I spoil things a lot, and I know Greg Tito and Trevor and Bart love me for that, but what am I going to do? So yeah, I think we are doing a live game from Gamehole Con this year, but this is actually part of our charity push with Extra Life. So we're going to do that one. That one's going to be definitely designed more for the stream. That one's definitely part of our Extra Life push it's going to be a segment there. I mean, I'm sure people will watch it and everything, but that one's not designed so much to be like the on-site entertainment as much as that one is designed to raise awareness for Extra Life and to raise funds and donations for Extra Life. And so for those of you who guys don't know, for the last few years we've done either 24 or 48 hours of gaming, try to deliver some fun entertainment gameplay stuff using a lot of staff and volunteers in the building to play and run it. And we'll do crazy stuff like, if you donate to this, Mike Failow will come in, full gear with his sword and everything. Or, I think Demetrius came as a dinosaur. I know Chris Lindsay, lets people get boons and potions and stuff by donating and everything. So that one is a very specific initiative where we're trying to raise money and awareness for Extra Life, which is an amazing charity that does that helps the Children's Miracle Network. So if you're not familiar with Children's Miracle Network, you should check it out because they're one of the major fund providers from the charity side to lots of the children's hospitals around. And we've got a great children's hospital here in Seattle. I know Pittsburgh has an amazing children's hospital that does a lot of stuff internationally as well as in their own community. So we really love that charity. I've personally had a lot of friends and close family and relatives who've benefited greatly from Children's Hospital being so amazing. So that's one that's near and dear to me. But I think everyone in the building we're pretty family and kid focused, and Hasbro obviously does a lot of support for children's hospitals and Children's Miracle Network. So that's a great charity. So that's why we're doing the game whole. Live game that was kind of decided on, I don't want to say last minute, but a little quick because it was way more like about the Extra Life stream and not trying to figure out how to entertain the fans on site. So if you're watching it live, it'll probably be cool, but there might be some moments where it could have been designed better for a live viewing event if we had focused on that. So when we bring out the waffle crew in places and stuff, I mean, I really want people, you're spending your time and your money and you're coming to these shows and do this stuff, like when you come in and sit down, like really be entertained in there, and it'd be like the best 2 or 3 hours you could spend in a theater. You know what I mean? You're picking going to see whatever the new movie is or go see us. So when you go see it, I want you to be like, that was totally worth it, and not like, yeah, it was cool, but they weren't talking to us as much and they were doing kooky stuff for the camera and everything. And so those are just two different kinds of games. Did Callus win twice?
Yep, they did.
Oh, we are calling shenanigans on that. I think there is a problem with the bot. We're going to do one more. Callus, please don't enter. Please. You can cheat the system. You can win 3 times, but your fellow fans are not going to be your friends. Okay, one more. So yeah, this blows up the chat on this because everyone puts in the raffle, so that's cool, but now I've lost all my questions. So it's 11:30, done a couple raffles. We've talked a little bit about the kind of streaming content stuff we're trying to do. Obviously I reminded you guys on Tomb of Annihilation. Obviously I'm stalling right now to let the next winner get picked so that we can get back into the chat. But yeah, let me let me know, guys, what your questions are. Hit me with stuff that that I can answer well. I mean, I know that it's hard because lots of the times I have to talk around secrets or they haven't been announced and stuff yet. But at the same time, you got this team, including me at Dungeons and Dragons, who just really values what everyone thinks, and we're trying to do a bunch of cool new Twitch stuff. So this is where I've kind of been spending more of my time and energy learning about this community and how the Twitch streams are gonna best entertain and best do that. So yeah, when you guys ask questions, like I get answers and feedback from that too, right? Because then I know where your head's at, and that kind of helps me guide the strategy for the team. You should have picked 5 names from 1 cent of entries. Moobot can do that, just FYI. I'm reading that out loud, just Pelham's on the fly doing this, so we'll let him run it how we're doing, but we'll get better at the picking the winners and stuff like that. So Worm Drake, totally hear you, and we'll definitely get better. So just bear with us. Patrick Rothfuss mentioned bringing D&D to the 5 to 10 age range. What challenges and solutions exist in that age range? That is an awesome question, and we are literally talking to everyone we can about that. Dan Telfer, we've been talking a lot about that. He's a good guy for it. Patrick's a good guy for it. There's an awesome store up in Victoria, British Columbia, that gears a lot of gaming towards kids, but especially even girls, which is cool. I say that because I got a 4-year-old daughter, so I'm biased. But you know, the challenges in there is, I think, a challenge that we also face with D&D, which is like, how much complexity do you layer on how fast? So we are either looking for, you know, kind of ways to put out alternate variants of products and stuff that can, you know, help make it cool and fun for the different age groups to play, or even sometimes just instructions and teaching materials for kind of how to, you know, run a game separately like that. I know our DMs out at HasCon are running some family games, you know, with intended to have kids and parents in them. So, you know, so that runs, you know, slightly different and everything. So as we're learning all this stuff and asking storytellers like Patrick and everyone, you know, we're kind of taking notes to make sure that when we're, you know, making a big push to, you know, to take D&D to maybe a younger audience, like that kind of 5 to 10-year-old, that we've got the right product, or right rules, or right, you know, whatever the right thing is. We're asking a lot of questions like that. So Patrick was helpful on that, but I wasn't in those conversations, so I can't tell you exactly what they talked about, but I did talk to him for like 2 minutes on it. What Unearthed Arcana can we expect in Xanathar's Guide to Everything? That is definitely a Mike Merrill's and Jeremy Crawford question. I probably do know because I've got the file and have read it, but I'm not allowed to say it. So that was a trick. I knew you guys were trying to trick me. I love it. Why does the Tomb dice set only contain 1d20 given the use of advantage and disadvantage? This question was asked by Half Slain, and I don't know if Half Slain, if you're the one who asked this. I saw this question on Twitter as well. I don't know if you asked it on Twitter as well, or someone else asked it. That's actually a really good piece of feedback. Like, honestly, I think the dice set, you know, we have bought dice sets at, you know, all the conventions. I've got, you know, I think the last 7 Gen Con dice sets, and, you know, we all do the dice sets, you know, kind of as this, you know, like, hobby part of it that, you know, is almost like religious and stuff. And I think we might have went on that one like a little too fast and not actually thought about the answers like that. Someone asked the question, like, why do we put 1d20 but 2 d10s? There aren't 2 d10s. There's a percentile dice, you know, with a d10. So that's for percentile, and a lot of us still use it. You know, I like the percentile dice. I ran a game, I played in a game where Satine was the DM, and she was hitting the random loot and random monster charts with the percentile dice. Pretty awesome, so that's cool. But yeah, I think the 2 d20s in dice sets, if maybe we were going to do more of these with our themes in the future, I think that's an awesome piece of feedback that we'll totally take to heart and look into doing. Because yeah, with advantage and disadvantage being such an elegant part of 5e, you know, yeah, why aren't we doing 2d20s? I mean, let's be honest, you're not buying the set and like, oh, this, you know, most people it's not their only d20, but it still would be cool. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, hang on. Getting through here. Okay, can I be a bot? I would look sweet with robot bits. I also like robots, and every time they tell me we're getting a bot, I want to see it, but they're never real. The Pelham of one-time WotC D&D fame. That's probably the Pelham. He is the guy who drives all the cool stuff. Question: how do you see D&D being changed by or benefiting from augmented reality? That is a tricky question, and the real answer is I have no idea. So our approach on that has been to work with really cool people, really talented people who are pioneering things in that space. So we probably actively have like 5 or 6 relationships going right now, like official relationships, lots of times even with some paperwork involved, where we're sharing stuff, secrets, and they're sharing secrets to try and figure that out. So augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, all of those have really neat applications that could be cool for Dungeons and Dragons, but they also have a lot of different limitations and like, you know, is that really cooler? I gave an interview one time, and I'll always tell people, like, my perfect dream would be kind of the scene from Kingsman, where they're sitting around the table, and like three of them are really sitting at the table, and then the other Kingsmen are holograms there, and they're sitting at their own table, and they're seeing the holograms from the other people, kind of thing, and everyone's looking down at the table, seeing the same map and playing the D&D game. Like, that's my personal vision of what I think, like, kind of a mixed or augmented reality would bring to the hobby. But I don't know. I mean, that's because that's what my feeble mind can think of. But I think when you get really smart and creative people who are driving the technology forward, you work with them, you explain what's cool about D&D, why we think people like getting together and playing D&D, what some of the challenges are and everything, and then you kind of let them, like, go off and think tank this stuff and come up with cool ideas. You're gonna get better stuff than what me or someone who doesn't really understand augmented reality as much. So the answer is, I don't know, but we are working with a lot of people there who are doing cool stuff in it, and trying to see how that can help fans, or what it can do. Okay, I'm gonna go back here for a couple more questions. I'm ignoring all the questions about Spelljammer and Eberron and all the settings, because the answer is, I promise you, we're working on stuff. And I also know that whatever we're working on and the cadence we're going to do, some of you are going to be happy at first and some of you aren't, because the approaches we're always taking as we're rolling out, you know, the new content, is we want to make sure that we've done a really good refresh and update, so that it is not just a, hey, how do we take the 5e rules and slap it on all the old material from this setting or that setting, but we want to make sure that the same thoughtful storytelling approach that we, you know, did when we created the new 5th edition rule set and ultimately refreshed Forgotten Realms, you know, using that in mind, that is still the way that we're bringing the other settings back on. So, you know, Maze Arcana guys, I know they're still running games in Eberron, so there's materials out there. Someone in here mentioned Keith Baker. Obviously, he's a fantastic resource, and so there's definitely, you know, stuff out there on that. You know, I haven't seen people playing in Mini Worlds, but I know John File on our team runs a Spelljammer game in here with the guys a lot. And I know that the DDO has the Eberron world going live. I've seen, obviously we've got Curse of Strahd, which you know, kind of gets you in there. I think I've seen Mike and team, you know, looking at how Greyhawk and the other worlds playing this stuff. So we're looking at them all and figuring out, but we're going to roll them out in thoughtful, very polished, cool, like lots of energy put into it, and so that if you're a fan of the setting, you can be really, really proud of the work that we've done. But unfortunately, what that means is, it means not everyone's going to get their settings all at the same time when they want them, and so for that one I just apologize, but I promise that, you know, if we're trying to make it as awesome and work as hard as we can on it, at least you know that, you know, we're pouring in the hours and trying to make something that you'll really love. I have only one set of dice and they're made out of diamond. I live in a who are you guys? Any chance of a nerd? Oh, any chance of a Nerds of D&D calendar featuring all the ladies and gents who work on D&D? I don't think so, because you know, I don't think that we're all super excited about being on a calendar, but I do know, and I'm probably spoiling this again, I do know that Hillary is working with a licensed partner on an awesome calendar, so there will be some cool D&D calendars in the near future. So if I spoiled someone's announcement, I'm sorry, but that's awesome. Planescape and other stuff, you know, Planescape, all the different ones. Like I said, we're definitely working through the kinks, and we're going to get new settings, and it's going to be great, but it's also, you know, it'll roll out slower than you guys want. What is the possible? So someone asked about a possible app for D&D groups or AL groups and stuff, and I saw someone else, you know, do the recommendation for, hey, where's your app that basically is a dungeon master for hire, kind of like a I guess like an Uber or a Eats app that gets DMs. I think all of those. I think all of those ideas are actually awesome. And actually, when we're doing stuff with D&D Beyond and with Fantasy Grounds and Roll20 and Dragon Plus, I think we will be looking at, are there opportunities to kind of tie some of that stuff in there, because we definitely know that the fans, need those services. So we definitely want to do that. No Tito. Yeah, we're doing a Greg Tito calendar. It's called #BlameTito. Z Wildo. Well, I suppose my question is not good enough. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. What was your question? I'm going to look back in here. Question. I know it's a bit more open and up to the DMs for 5e, but do you think that there will ever be like a compendium of deities for 5e, like background info, realms, ideology, etc.? Z Wildo, yeah, I think there will be some stuff like that. I know that Matt and Mike and those guys are definitely talking about stuff like that. Whether that gets built into some of our new annual adventures or other products and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely there should be stuff like that going on. So nothing concrete in terms of timing and stuff, but I also kind of need that overview. Okay, we have 14 more minutes. I want to get to some good questions, so I'm going to keep looking through here. We'll do probably one more. We will do one more raffle thing towards the end, but I want to do a few more questions. Dun, dun, dun. Any news about the Brazilian version of D&D and the issues with the Brazilian publisher? I do not have any news about the Brazilian version on that. I think that we're still working through some of the stuff to make sure that we can get that out to the folks in Brazil. So as soon as we have info, we will definitely share it. Sorry it's not better news, but I am hearing updates on it constantly, so I know it's being worked on. We just don't have a resolution and answers yet. D&D, or someone's asking me what are some of my favorite settings, adventures, books from older D&D, Dragonlance books and Planescape setting. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same thing. I'm a kid of the 80s. I got into D&D in 88 with my cousins. They were doing a lot of homebrew stuff, but it was AD&D at the time. So, I think, by default we were playing in, more Greyhawk type settings and worlds, but a lot of homebrew stuff with Jay and Carlos, who were the DMs who were running it. The Dragonlance characters, I think, cast characters are amazing. I didn't play a lot of D&D in the Dragonlance stuff, but I definitely like the stories from Dragonlance because I think that they're so kind of personal and relatable, and you kind of see a little bit of yourself in lots of the characters, which is sad when you see yourself in the evil characters. So that's, I don't know if that's telling about me. But I love the Forgotten Realms because it's so expansive, and I like exploration, and there's so many different places. I play a rogue, an elf rogue that I tell everyone is a pastry chef, but really he's an assassin. Because he's a pastry chef, I like to do things in Marsember. It's a city of spices and cooking and stuff. So, I think just the vast nature of Forgotten Realms is one of my favorite, but I definitely like characters from a lot of the other settings and some of the lore from that. I think that Planescape is pretty awesome. Not as fleshed out, but obviously I think this kind of idea of a city of doors or portals and sigil is cool, and how that kind of connects to the bigger metaverse in Dungeons and Dragons, especially as it relates to that deity question, is pretty cool. So I'm just kind of in love with it all, right? When I get to be a fly on the wall and listen to Patrick Rothfuss and Mike Merrills and Chris Perkins and other creatives, brainstorm story things to talk about that stuff. I just sit there and just listen and absorb it and geek out. So I think I just like that there's such creative, talented people, and the source material is so good. So I like a little bit of everything. But Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk has been kind of where I've spent most of my time and energy, and I'm really I've been loving exploring all of the Forgotten Realms. I keep asking Mike when we're gonna go back inland a little bit. I like the Purple Dragon Knights. I think that the Kingdom and Corinne in there in the area, I think would be cool to kind of see some more stuff. So, just a lot of that. Yes, Z Wildo. Yep, you just laid the guilt on him, and I did. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. Finding a DM is awesome. Asked if we'd consider licensing. For example, Discworld campaign would be amazing. We would consider. I don't think that it's on our short list to in-license any content right now. I think we still have enough worlds and content that the fans really want, that are ours, that we're really excited and passionate and knowledgeable about, that we want to bring out. So I don't think there would be any licensing in the short term, but it's not off the table. It's just not highest on our priority list. We got a shout out for Raceland in there. Okay, good. Someone else likes the evil guys. Okay. Can I update the progress of the translations for the various books? WotC hasn't said anything since it was first announced. I know that almost all of the translations for French, Spanish, Italian, German, and Japanese have been done. I think that the folks at Gale Force 9 and the partners that they were using in the individual markets actually did a great job and worked really fast. I think that they kind of came flooding in for our approvals and oversight all at the same time, and I think we might have bottlenecked that a little bit. I'm pretty sure we're through most of the core books and some early adventure approvals and all that stuff, and in the next 2 months, I think we're going to see a lot of that product start to open up and hit the market in the markets that I just said. So Brazil, like I said, is still a big question mark, but French is out. I know Player's Handbook is out in France right now for sure. The other books should be following really quickly, but Italian, Spanish, German, Japanese, all should be following as well. We just met with John Paul at Gale Force 9 to talk about this, and I actually have a spreadsheet I could look at and look at the exact things. But basically the short story is like next 60, 90 days, it gets really exciting for fans in those countries who want those languages, because everything should be starting to get moving now. I think that we slowed it down because everything was kind of happening at once, but now it should be kind of back in the hands of the people getting it out to the market, so that should help. Who said you don't need two D20s to play? You need like 5 D20s. What if one of them is rolling poorly? Okay. Tip, do not let Will Wheaton touch your D20. Good to know. Yes, so I did share a couple Twitter pics yesterday. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm at Nathan B. Stewart. I don't put a lot of stuff on Twitter. I mainly just put pictures of products that come across my desk, pictures of people visiting the office, pictures of us playing with the partners or celebs or friends and fans and stuff like that. So I mean, there's enough cool D&D stuff on there that if you don't follow me, you probably miss a little bit of it there. I think Trevor retweets it a lot. Tito does. I know Mike. A lot of the stuff is on our other people's stuff too. But I definitely took pictures of the inside of the new DM screen and put some of those up yesterday. So I try to make sure that we're giving you guys enough cool stuff. But yeah, on the interior pictures on there, we'll get some other stuff up there too. Question: have you considered making a product similar to Pathfinder Pawns for 5e? I don't know if we have or not. I'm assuming that's like the little tokens on there. I'm not 100% sure on that. But some of that stuff that we think can be done, kind of easily by fans or partners and stuff. Some of that stuff we kind of don't do. If we should do more of that stuff, kind of let us know. But people tend to, like the minis, obviously, if you can get a hold of them. I know it gets a little expensive and stuff, but a lot of people don't play with any, kind of positioning stuff anymore, since 5e really allows for that. So, if we hear enough feedback from folks that some kind of 2D or cardstock paper stuff would be interesting, we might look into that. So it's not something we've given a lot of thought about D&D headquarters is in Renton, Washington. For those of you guys who don't know, that is right next to the Seattle airport. Wizards of the Coast is actually what that's in Renton, Washington, and D&D and Magic and Duel Masters are all done out of the Wizards of the Coast headquarters here in Renton, Washington. And for those of you who care at all, the reason that we're in Renton, Washington, because it's not exactly the most destination spot for visitors, and if you're in Seattle, you're like, why wouldn't you be in Seattle? When they originally started Wizards of the Coast, Peter was ex-Boeing, and so I think that they were working and living down here, and if I had to guess, I'm sure that the original Wizards of the Coast was probably, in some space that had been used for Boeing contractors, and either, they subleased or they got a good deal on something. But I'm guessing that the origins of them being from Boeing really had a lot to do with it. I know we got 5 minutes, Bill. Have a lot to do with it, and so we've just been here, and families have kind of built up around it. So that's why we're in Renton. Awesome if you're coming to visit us and you fly into the airport, because we're literally like 5 miles away. So anyway, okay, let's do this. Let's run one more raffle. Wait, not one more, I guess, because we want to give like five more winners. Okay, 5 more winners, and this we're going to pull from the vault. This is I don't think anything kind of current stuff, but we got 5 of these bags here that we are going to give away. I'm talking through the bag, lower the bag, sideways bag. So here's the bag, and we're going to give away 5 of these bad boys, and do the raffle now. Okay. So while you guys are all putting your raffle thing in, I'll talk the last few minutes, because then we're going to roll into, I think, uncharted territory with high rollers. But like I said, by popular demand of at least 2 people, we're going to plan on doing these kind of on the regular. So I think once a month. I think our loose plan is first Fridays. But if my travel schedule or something that we're doing with Wizards kind of disrupts that, we'll let you know. So probably we'll probably update the schedule 2 or 3 weeks out and make sure everyone knows and can plan. You can always send questions leading in through Twitter to me. I'd love to get as specific about things that I can. If there's stuff that I can know about ahead of time to talk about, then I can grab some info. I'll usually try and give away free stuff because, like I said, I want to get this in the hands of as many people as we can, and and have you guys have cool swag when you can. It's a little bit of a manual process because we do ship it, and Pelham is kind of our guy for that, and he's kind of our guy for a lot of stuff. So it is a little bit of a work effort for him. So sometimes I might go lighter on the giveaways, or even be missing one Fireside chat because we just got a really hectic week, and it just kind of clog up or whatnot. But for the most part, we plan on trying to give stuff away, talk about upcoming things, answer your questions. If nothing else, just give you guys an opportunity to kind of have a direct connection with someone kind of in the quote-unquote management chain. I'm not the creative dude. I'm not making this stuff, not doing this stuff, but if we're doing stuff right, I want to hear about it. If we're doing stuff wrong, I really want to hear about it. And if you just want to make sure that you're getting heard, we listen. We read we read the fan sites, we read the comments, we look at our Twitch, we look at our Facebook, we look at our Twitter. Mike Merrills and Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins and Trevor Kidd, I think, do amazing jobs at answering questions. Pelham behind the scenes is making sure that we all get those things serviced to us as much as possible. So the real reason I want to hop on these is if I have something cool to tell you guys, I want to tell you directly. And half the time I don't have anything cool to tell you, so I just want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to to engage and to connect with what's going on, and make sure that you've got another place to have your voice heard. The best thing about Dungeons and Dragons, especially now, 43 years in, is that we are more popular than ever. More people are playing D&D than ever, and I really attribute a lot of that to the hard work of the team to build the right thing, because they were listening really well to the fans, and the only way that we can lose is if we stop listening. So we just want to try and find as many opportunities to connect and listen and do cool stuff. So that's kind of it. I don't want to eat into our stuff with Mark. Those guys are awesome. Yeah. So hit me up on Twitter anytime you want at Nathan B. Stewart. I check it way too often, as my family and my staff would tell you. And then we'll try and do these streams, hour long. Once a month seems pretty cool. So with that, I will say have a great weekend. If you're gaming this weekend at PAX or Southern California or down in Atlanta, then have fun, and may all your rolls be with advantage. All right, Pelham, are we going to switch over?
Okay.
All right, thanks everyone.